greetings coming from the universe and from the ancestors. You know, greetings from Mother Nature and Father Nature. We're not gonna leave any of them out. Greetings from Mother Earth that continue to feed us every day. So we do appreciate love all of them that look after us. So we have to learn to look after them. You know, but tonight we're going to have a very important reasoning, you know, on the issue of knowing. Because a lot of us have an issue with that. And I always say to my brothers and sisters, word, sound, and power is very important, that we use the words that is going to give us the most benefit and that is going to be the most effective within ourselves and within our life. And the reason why sometimes we don't receive the things them that we would like to receive, it is because we don't come to that place to know and understand that it is at certain point and certain time where we should demand certain things of the universe. But because we are lack in knowledge, we don't know when to demand things from the universe, command the things them from the universe to happen in your life. You see, because of a lack of knowledge, because all we are doing, because a system that has been put into place is for us to believe. And I will go to this point to say that when someone come to you, and listen to me carefully, because these are important points. If for instance, a police officer should stop you on the street, you drive in your car, and a police officer should stop you on the street and says, do you own this car or do you believe you own this car? If you say to the police officer, I believe I own this car, he will look at you like you're stupid or you're crazy. It's either you own the car or you don't own the car. So that's when I say, don't believe anything. You need to know. There's a lot of our people, they have gone to university. They have several degrees. They read a lot of books, a lot of knowledge. But when you talk to these individuals, when you try to have a reason with them, it's like you're wasting your time, because you realize that they are really empty up here. The only thing that they are going with is what they have taught them from the book. Because the person who taught them from the book, all they are doing is from what the person that put them in that space, put them there with only a limited amount of knowledge, and that's as far as they will go, because they don't have anything outside of that to teach you. So when you start to know and understand what life is really all about, then you're going to see the difference. And that's why I said to our people all the time, why do they make you believe in this religion? Why do they make you believe? That is the question. Because when they make you believe, it's a control mechanism that sets in. Once the preacher in the church and your parents get you to believe that there's a God in the sky and that there is this person named Jesus is coming back for you, then guess what? You are going to always depending on that. The preacher in the church knows that, and that's what he banks on. Because as long as he keep you in that place, his pocket is always going to be filled. Because if I should see someone that is caught up in religion and I should say to them, do you know that this Jesus is real? Do you know? Show me. Not by the Bible. Step outside of the Bible and show me what proof do you have aside from that this Jesus is real. Aside from that, show me this God that you say live up in this place called heaven. What other evidence do you have? Because all the Bible give you is a belief system. It's not a knowing system. That's a fact. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. I used to be into religion. It's not something that I don't know. And the fact is that sometimes when I say these things, you have individuals who want to challenge what I'm saying, and yet those individuals has never read the entire book. They have never studied the book, so therefore they don't know. Even when I send them sometime and say, okay, go and get your Bible and come and let me show you, they don't want to do that. But one of the things is that I get to find out when it comes to our people, the problem lies that if you should step away from that belief system, what is going to happen to you? You are going to instantly know that you have the accountability for yourself. So now you don't need to pray and close your eyes anymore, because when you pray and close your eyes, that is a belief system. It's an imaginary thing. You closing your eyes while prayer is going on, while the preacher is standing up there praying and looking at you in the audience. Because he have to keep you in that space of imaginary thing. And sometimes we close our eyes so tight. You see, because we don't want to come out of that space. And yet all the closing of your eyes, you have never seen anything. Nothing changed when your eyes open. The only thing you will see is the collection plate passing around. Maybe before you pray or after you pray, the plate will pass around. And he will get some more money because you are depending on God while he is depending on you. Because he knows that there is no God up in the sky coming to rescue you. That's why he's demanding things from you. That's why he drives the cars that he drives. That's why he lives in the houses that he lives. That's why he does the things that he does. That's why he can drive past you down the street, even though you go to church, he's in a Bentley that you purchase, you pay for. But he will not even give you a ride in that car because it's too precious for you to ride in. You see? We live in a world where the system banks on us. Believe in them. When a politician comes and say to you, when I get in power, guess what? I am going to make sure that, your community is all taken care of. I am going to make sure that everything is good for you and your family. But he never tells you that the first person he's going to look out for is himself and the people who gives him money to put him there. Those are the people that he's going to be taken care of. He have to. You don't have no other choice because he didn't put himself there. Because you go and you said you vote, you think that is going to change anything for you. If you live in a world that money is the God that rule the world that you live in, you see, you don't know that because you still have that sky daddy that is going to provide these things for you. But if you come to the realization and know that there is no sky daddy up there to provide anything for you, you have to provide for yourself. Then neither would you be depending on a politician, and neither would you be depending on a preacher to show you the way. Because there is no way for them to show you but the way to make sure that you're always paying them. You're always paying these individuals. You're always making sure that they are well taken care of. And you feel proud of yourself that you are doing these things for these individuals. You feel very proud. You are very happy. Oh, my pastor, he's driving a Bentley. He owns a helicopter. He owns a plane. He's got a nice Learjet and all these things. And what do you have? So if this God that they tell you about is such a loving and wonderful God, then how come your preacher is driving a Bentley and you can't drive one? What is God saying? It's too much for you? Is God saying that you don't deserve to drive a Bentley? You only deserve to be the person who go and fetch water and make sure that these individuals are well taken care of every day? If we wake up and just start to think for ourselves, think for ourselves, because If you don't think for yourself, that means that someone have your mind. Someone control your mind. And the question that we want to ask, who control your mind? Who push the button that your mind does what it does? And who push the button to make you say the things that you say? Are we people who free ourselves from that way of thinking by now? We have our people in America that is saying, right now they are thinking like, oh yeah, everything is going to be great. The Democrat is back in office. You were suffering on the Republican, but you're still suffering. And you're going to suffer worse. You see, let me remind my people of something. You had a president, name was Bill Clinton, and he had a wife, Hillary Clinton. Don't forget those people. They came up with a thing called the three-strike law in America. Doesn't matter if one of our brothers is just smoking a marijuana spliff. It doesn't matter, at least little things that they do. If they did do something prior, doesn't matter how minor they are, and they catch them with that, guess what? 3 strikes, you're out. You're in prison for the rest of your life. But who was the 3-strike law made for? Was it made for white people? No. That don't happen. Oh, they are sick. They find some kind of disease. They find some kind of disease to say, oh, this is what's wrong with them. They're not well. They need treatment. You don't need treatment. You are a barbarian. You need to go to prison. That's what happened to our people. Those are the things that our people face and are still facing in America. That three-strike law has never changed. It is still there. All those things are still there waiting on you. This woman that's supposed to be vice president has done some terrible things to our people in California. These are the reality, my people. But these are the people that you have hope in, that they are going to change things for you. That is where the problem lies. We need to know that these things is not going to change. Only change is going to change is for the worse and never for the better. It is not going to change for the better. And when we tell our people these things, you see, a lot of our people, they look at us like, these guys must be stupid. What are these guys talking about? Huh? What are they talking about? But because we won't think for ourselves and we have everyone else doing the thinking for us, that is why we always running into problem. When I meet young brothers sometime and, talking to them on the street, and they will say to me, oh, I need to be able to build a house for myself, but I can't afford it. I'm always working. I'm the only son of my mother, and I don't, things is rough for my mother, things is rough for my family, but I want to help my family to grow. But you can't help your family to grow because you are in church. And the church is taking away the little bit that you're bringing in, because you always have to bring them 10% of what you're making. Your God don't know how to manage money. He don't. Because he's always asking for more. If he could manage money, he getting billions of dollars a year he's getting from all over the world. It might turn out to be trillions of dollars that your God is getting every year, and he's still demanding money of you. And yet he created all things. If he did created all things, why the hell he demanding money of you? These are the things that we are not thinking about. These are the things that we are not seeing. We are not seeing these things. And the people who fill your head with all of this nonsense, this belief, they don't get into that. They don't believe that. They know that's a bunch of bullshit. Do you know that most white people don't go to church? Do you know that? Do you know that those people who give you God and Jesus don't go to church? because it don't mean anything to them. You see, they know that Sunday is the day that they demand everything. Just like the other day, me and one of my sister was having a reasoning, and she brought out some very important points and showing me, because you see, let me say this to our brothers, and I want my brothers to listen carefully. A lot of our sisters are in tune with nature and are in tune with the universe. So my brothers, when you find a spiritual sister that can teach you things, you need to listen, because that's how you learn. We live in a world where these people has blocked our women out of everything completely. And we, a lot of times, just join with them. But what I'm saying to you, when a sister that you have in your life is a spiritual person, you need to listen, because they can teach you. Spirituality is very important, that you do listen to that from when it's coming from the spirit first, not from the flesh, but it have to come from the spirit first. So when she's spiritual, she's going to teach you. Because remember, my dear brothers, the universe is a woman, the earth is a woman, and nature is also woman. So what I'm saying is, your mother is also a woman. So pay attention, my dear brothers, and come out of the European mentality, because that is the thing that is set in place to destroy us as a people. So I am saying to us, in order for us to move forward, we have to acknowledge these things. We have to know these things. It's very important that we know. That's why I'm saying I want my people to stop believing. I want my people to know, demand that you should know the truth, because only the truth can set you free. On the day when you in church, that is the day when all of the planets are in alignment. That is the day when you make all your demands and command the universe to turn in your favor. And that's when things happen for you. They know these things. So when you're in church, what they are doing, they're harvesting your energy. You're singing and you're clapping and you're shouting. It is for no God in the heaven. It is for them. It's a ritual that you are performing. And they are drawing that energy to themselves to demand the things that you should be getting. That's why you remain in the place that you are. Free your mind. Stop allowing people to do the thinking for you. Those days that you're going to church, no. Start changing it. Start resting on particular days. One of my sisters remind me that Monday is Moon Day. That's the day that you should rest, relax. But they have you working. They have you doing all kind of things. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I tell my people, when I tell you the words that you use is important, it is very important. Because words, sound, and power. Word, sound, and power is vital that you know. That's why when I said, I don't use the word, I want freedom. No, I want to be free. There's no dumb in it. I don't have wisdom. I am a wise man, and I know that I am. I don't believe that I am. I know that I am. Are you a wise man? Are you a wise woman? You need to know. You don't need to believe. They have you saying words. And I'm going to show you. If you look at all of these countries that these Europeans have their claws on for such a long time, in the Caribbean, here in Africa, where they tell you, oh, they give you your freedom. What is happening to this country? Who is controlling these politicians? Who is the puppet master that is pulling their string and making them do whatever they want them to do? Isn't it the same people? Isn't it the reason why you're still under the spell that you're under? Isn't it the reason why that a lot of us, instead of we doing these things that we can grow and that we can get in our life, we are in church on Saturdays and Sundays? You see the reality. These are the reality that we don't want to accept. The preacher is in his church on Sunday demanding you to give him his portion that he is demanding from the universe. And you are giving it to him in abundance. And he's taking it to their bank on a Monday morning. What are you taking to the bank? Nothing. You can barely afford to pay your rent most of the time. You're just living from paycheck to paycheck, and you're hoping that the job that you have does not go away. Because if that job go away, life is over for you. Because the reason why life is over for you is because you believe everything and don't know nothing. But the people who know, they don't depend on no job. Because jobs don't mean anything to them. It doesn't mean anything to them. Why is it? Have you ever, most of our people, as African people, black people, if you want to call it that, because that's what they call us, but let's just say that. Have you ever noticed that most of us, we don't come to that place where we have what we need in life? We always in a place where we just find ourselves, where we always spinning the wheel trying to make $1. And when one of us have a business or one of us get some so-called career, then, your family is happy. Because now they're thinking, yes, this one is doing it. This one is, and most of the time, those ones that you see is doing it, they don't care nothing about the family. It's still you, the one who is suffering. It still have to be given to the family. It's still providing for your family. You see how it works? They have careers. They are musicians. They're singers. They're this, they're that, they're the other. But when it comes to their family, they forget about you. Because the powers that be, who put them in that place, who they do their one act of worship for, to give them the answer that they need in order to be in control in a particular thing, guess what? They'll tell them, you don't help them. No, you can't do that. If you do that, we will take away everything you have, or we will take you out. That's how it goes. We are being used, we are being confused. All the time, not sometime. And yet still, we as a people can't find it within ourselves to really stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. I am not, because I'm being used. That's the reality that we deal with every day. I tell my sisters, when you are on a job and you are the secretary, or you are the ones that they always call in, no matter what position you hold, they always calling you because you are the one who really knows. But you don't know that you know. You take it for granted. You just think it is nice that they always coming to you and they're saying they're laughing and they're skidding and grinning with you. Why? Because the fact of life, they know that they're using you. And they know that you don't know that. You thinking, I have a friend. That's what's wrong with our people. I have a friend. I have this white friend. They care about me. They love me. They always smiling. They invite me here. They invite me. But a lot of time you go to they might invite you to their parties. And when you go there, you find yourself by yourself a lot of the time. Yeah, you don't want to say that it's true. But most of us, we know that is the truth. Because there is hardly anyone else who look like you that is there. And when one of them come to talk to you, you feel great. Because we want acceptance. But if we don't accept ourselves, what acceptance is there? How How will you be accepted when you don't accept what you see in the mirror because you don't know what you're looking at? You don't have no love for what you're looking at. You don't. Until you come to that place where you know that what I'm looking at in the mirror, I totally accept what I see. Because what I see is the manifestation of me in the flesh. And there is no other who looks, even if they look like you, they can never be you. That is the beauty that we can't see in ourselves. And that's the sad thing. We cannot see the beauty within our own self, within our own right, to know that I am the I am. Because there's not another like me. The God that you're looking for is you. It's within you. It is within you. And you don't know that because no church or no school will teach you that. No church or any school will teach you that you are what you're looking for. It's nothing in the sky, my people. Think for yourself. Because if someone else is doing the thinking for you and you are following whatever they're trumping up, guess what? If they go down into a hole, you're going to be following them right down into that hole. Stop being a follower. Be a leader of yourself. Question everything, my people. Question everything. Not some things. You must question everything. And when you start questioning everything, you're going to get the answers that you're looking for. Go deep within yourself, within your inner self, where you understand, where you overstand. You see, I don't understand because I'm not under anything. I am over things because I choose to be a person with overstanding. You see what I'm saying is, I don't decide to live in the world of illusion anymore. I don't want to be the guy in the matrix that's saying, I know that the steak is not real, but I still want it. And I will sell all my people out just to get that steak. That's what a lot of our people will do. They will sell you out for a steak any time of the day. They will sell you out for nothing, next to nothing. Because they think that they are going to be accepted if they do that. We as a people need to understand. Anytime these people come along, we must start to look at it and say, when they come to us with their questioning, when they come to us and start being nice to us, the first question we need to ask them, what do you want? Why is it that we feel that we have to be so nice? And yet you are the one being oppressed every day. You are the one being down pressed and in every way. These ones, you will do things for them. You will do this for them. You will do that for them. But they do nothing for you. You see, we will stop everything that we have. As long as these ones, these Caucasides or whatever you want to call them, Chinese, whatever you want to call them, we will stop everything for them. But we won't do for ourselves. We won't do for each other. Because if a lot of times you see one of your own who looks like you and he needs or she needs certain things and a white person needs it, you will quicker to do it for the white person because you think that you're going to be accepted by that white person. And you think that they're going to make sure that the God that you're serving mark one down in the book for you. But if you can't do for yourself, which is those who look like you, if you can't do for yourself, for those who look like you, does that make any sense to you? Let me give you some facts here, my people. In Ghana, go down to Cape Coast, and let me tell you something that happened down there. All those dungeons down there in Cape Coast, okay? All those dungeons down there. Do you know that most Ghanaians has never been inside one of those dungeons? Those places that they call castle? Do you know that most of the Africans here has never been inside of there? The children, lots of the adults, they grew up around there all their life and they don't have no clue what's happening, what went on inside of those places. And I'm going to show you the reason why the people don't know and the people don't push to know. Because these individuals, if these people was to go inside of there and realize that on the top of every dungeon, there's a church. On the top of every slave dungeon, there is a church, my dear brothers and sisters. So while our ancestors was in these dungeons, they was up in the church on Sunday. Yes. They were up in the church thanking their God for the bounties of all these African slaves that they have to board the ship tomorrow to sail them off into the new world. So there's so much churches here on the continent that if the people were to go inside of these places and realize that these are the things that truly happen here, what do you think would happen to those churches? You see, that is the reality. So people don't want to know the truth because truth hurts like hell. That's the problem. We don't like truth because truth must stand alone. That is the reality. Truth will always stand the test of time. Because most people, with the truth comes accountability. I don't say responsibility because there's no risk in it. It comes accountability because everything in life is counting. It's numbers. Numbers are very, very important, and most of us don't want nothing to do with numbers. But numbers are important. Very, very important. And that's what, these are the things that we run from. Oh, I don't like mathematics. I don't like this. It's just not, it is you, but you don't know that. You don't know that these are the things that you need to know because they are going to lead you out of the place of madness that you find yourself in. It's going to lead you away from a belief system that you're going to realize that everything to do with the universe, everything to do with life, everything have to do with numbers. They don't want you to know these things. They want you to shy away as far as you can from these things. And that's why I said to my people, set yourself free. I'm not here, my people, to demand payment for what I am telling you. I don't need to do that. I'm not the preacher in church who will tell you that if you don't give me money, God is not going to bless you. If you don't give me money, then your children is not going to be able to go to university. If you don't give me money, you're not going to have your job. Because it's God provided for you. But when did God fill out an application for you? When did God provide this job for you? No, he never provide anything for you. You go out there, you do the work, you put in everything. But you still won't look at yourself and say, it is what they call God. It is the power that is within me that moved me to go and get that job because I reason within myself and I know what I need in order for me to get through life. But we don't allow the spirit to talk to the flesh and lead the flesh, because when we allow the spirit to be the leader of the flesh, then guess what? We will know the truth. Because when the Spirit command and when the Spirit shows you what you need to do, but lots of times we refuse to listen to the Spirit. We refuse because people telling us, oh, that voice inside of you that is talking, don't respond to it, don't do it. That is madness, my people. That is madness. When I tell you that you have to think for yourself, if you're going to buy a house, a lot of time you sit down and you talk to yourself. Okay? And you say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to work towards. This is how much money I need to save in order to purchase a house. But you see, those are the things that we as a people, we refuse to accept that we are the ones that is making this decision. And a lot of times you will go and run it by your friend. And you will say to your friend, what do you think about me buying this house? You think it's a good idea? Because you're looking for confirmation. But the confirmation is already made within yourself. A reformation, I should say. Within yourself. You just need to be strong and reaffirm yourself because you grew up in a place and in a time where they didn't give you the confidence that you need within yourself, or the knowing that you need within yourself, growing up knowing that you can accomplish anything that you want in this world, anything that you want in life. You can command the things to happen for you and they will happen. Your parents didn't teach you that. The school didn't teach you that. If they teach you that, they don't have a job. If the preacher tell you that, you think he would be on a podium standing up in front of you on a Sunday morning? Do you think if these politicians really tell you the truth, do you think that they would have the job that they have? Really? You are being misled constantly. You are being misled constantly, and yet, even though we come along, many of us, because it's not just myself, but many of us come along and we tell you the truth, but yet we refuse to listen. We refuse to listen because truth is hard to accept when you live lies all your entire existence on this plane. It's very hard to accept. You mean all these years and you want me to give up all of that? For what? You telling me that I need to start over? Are you crazy? Do you know I'm 40-something years old? I'm 30-something years old? I'm 50-something years old? Are you mad? That's the way we live. That's the world we live in. But yet we won't let that go. Yet we won't step forward into the future and make sure that our children start to be people who knows. We don't want to do that. We don't want to say to our children, listen, let me show you, let me tell you how life works. When I know my people, and in this space and time, a lot of our people still telling their children about Santa Claus coming down through the chimney to give them gifts. Some of our people is still doing that up to this point. Even though most young people today will laugh at you for that foolishness because they know that it doesn't exist. Only you believe that foolishness. This is what I'm saying is, that is the reality. A big fat man coming down through your chimney. A skinny man cannot come through your chimney, but a big fat man will come down through your chimney and leave some gifts into your house for your children. How long are we going to lie to our people? Instead of what we do, instead of what we as a people do, show our children that I'm the person who provide for you. I'm the person who see to it that you have these things. I work hard all year. Why should I give credit to some character that never exists? Because a system tells you to do so. And you're fooling your children. making them believe things that is not true. So you're lying to your children. And then most of us will say, all I want is the truth. What truth do you want? The lie? No, you don't want truth. You want the lie because the lie persists. And sometimes when I talk to some of our people who call themselves adult, and they'll say to me, oh, I know it's not true, but I gotta, I can't disappoint my children. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Are you serious? You see, that's the place that we find ourselves. We tell our children these things. Huh? We give ourselves no credit at all for the goodness that we are doing to our children. We don't take no credit because even our parents teaches us not to take credit for the good things that we are doing for our children. That is not good. That is a sick condition that we find ourselves in, that we need to heal ourselves. We need to cure ourselves from all that sickness that is in us. But sometime, my people, I'm going to tell you why you do what you do. It is the food that you're eating within you. That is why you continue to do the things you do. You don't want to admit it. Our people sometimes will say, oh, I know this food isn't good for me, but I love it. Are you really kidding? You listen to what you're saying to yourself? Oh, I know these things are not good. I don't know how you guys can manage to eat so healthy. That's what they will say to you. And you have to laugh because it's laughable. A person is telling you that you eat healthy and they don't. And they're saying they don't know how you manage to eat healthy. It's crazy to even let those words come out of your mouth, that you would say those things to your children, you would say those things to your friends, and then you go down to Burger King and buy them all this bullshit that is going to kill them, that is going to make them sick, just like you are sick. You're going to make your children sick. Is that love? You don't have no love for your children, because if you love your children, you would never do that to them. You would never do that. But because we have a sick mind, we teach our children, oh, this food, I know it's making me put on weight, but I just can't help myself. You see the lies that we tell ourselves? Whenever we use a word that we can't, you see that word is a very dangerous word. That's why I said words, sound, and power, my dear brothers and sisters, is very powerful. So when you use that word saying that you can't, it is the fact that is just destroying you. Because there's no such a thing that you can't. They create those words to keep you down. You can do anything that you want to do. You can be anything that you want to be, but you don't know that because no one in school teach you that. Your parents a lot of times did not teach you that because your parents always telling you, be respectful to Mr. Joe, be respectful to Mr. that, Mr. this, Mr. the other. They don't care nothing about you, my people. Nothing, absolutely nothing they care about you. They only want you to work for them until you call yourself retire. These days, they're not even making you reach your retirement age. They are removing you from your job. COVID-19, this stupidness that they come around with, which is a military operation, shows you that nothing in the system is secure. You are being used, you are being confused and abused, my people. So you need to let it go. There's nothing in the system that is there for you. The system is no good. It cannot be fixed. It cannot be fixed. Let the system go, my people, because it is the thing that is doing it to you. You know, when I hear our people, our women, they're saying, oh, my hair is so hard to manage. I have to relax it. I have to do this to it. Who tell you that? Who come up with those things? What about your hair need to relax? You have a magnetic field walking around on top of your head, and you don't even have no clue. But you're talking about, I need my hair to relax. You're being bamboozled. Bamboozled to buy all this shit that you really don't need, that is only going to mess your brain up, that you're putting on top of your head. You think it just stay in your hair? Why do you think some of our women, when you see them, their hair, you look there, there's a spot missing here, a spot missing there, and all of these chemicals that they're putting in there is frying your brain. It is destroying your brain. And that's why you're in the state of mind that you're in, my people. Change your thinking and you will see a great deal of difference in your life. Listen, don't hear, you need to listen. There's a big difference between the two. Most of us, we hear, but we never listen. It just goes through one of these old and come through the other one. Because a lot of what I may say today, you don't remember it tomorrow because it wasn't important enough that you meditate upon it and think, you know what, this brother here is saying something, I need to really seriously think about it. Because he's not charging me for it. But the preacher in the church that is telling you all the bullshit, you will go to the church and if you don't have the money within you now, they have an ATM machine in the church and you will go pull it out and making sure that that money is in that collection plate. That's what we do. Even when you know some of that money have to go towards paying your bills. So your bill is going to be late and there's a late charge that you're going to have to pay. Whose fault is that? No one else but yourself. No one else but yourself. And your first thing you say, oh my God, what am I going to do? When did he come to your rescue? There's no invisible person that tell you to put that money to pay for your rent, that in your rent to go and pay for it. No. To give it to the preacher? No. You decide that. Be accountable for your actions. That's what we need to do. When we are accountable for our action, we're going to make everything in life count. You realize why I say accountability? Because everything in your life have to count. It's numbers. You can't get away from them. Not no responsibility. There's no risk in any of this. The only risk is in it is when you do the stupid things that you're doing. But when you are accountable, guess what? You're going to change your old mentality. Because you're going to fully realize that there's no one coming out of the sky to rescue you. You must rescue yourself and those who belong to you. You have the knowing, but you don't want to accept that. You want to give that to someone else. How long are we going to carry on like that? How long are we going to continue on this journey where we always paying when we don't need to? That's the problem. We are paying people who we don't need to pay anything. But we will not stand up for ourselves. Because only when God and Jesus come, everything is going to automatically change. Everything is going to just transform. Everything is going to be beautiful. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. All the things that these people are demanding of you, they are telling you that, oh, you know, on one hand, oh, you know, when you're down here and hurt, you can't be materialistic because guess what? It's not a good way. God don't want you to be this way. But at the end of the day, the preacher is the most materialistic person that is standing up in front of you on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning. Because look at what he's driving. Look at where he's living. Look at the life that he's living. Look and admit the truth to yourself. There's nothing about no God in that. He's telling you when you go up to heaven, guess what? Your castle is going to be waiting for you in the sky. How the hell castle gonna be in the sky if you decide that this God is a spirit and this Jesus tell you that there's many mansions in my Father's house? When you in a spirit, What the hell kind of mansion do you need to live in? They are living in their mansion here on earth while you suffering. And sometimes a lot of us, we can look up through our roof at night and we pray that the rain don't fall. We are lost, my people. We are lost. And we must accept that. Like I said, when it comes to knowing, that is the reality. Knowledge is not power. Knowing is power. Because when people know, guess what? The people who knows, they do. They become the doers because they know when they do what is going to happen. You believe things that has never happened. Your parents believe it. Their parents believe it. Why do you think you're so damn poor? Why do you think your life is always going the way it's going? Because you believe in everything. You believe the Spanish people are your brother. You believe these people, the Asians, are your brothers and sisters. You believe that white people are your brothers and sisters. That is the problem. They don't believe that you are anything to them. More than the ones who making sure that they are in the place that they are. And only you can see that because you are determined to keep yourself in the place that you find yourself. That's what we do. And we see them, we laugh and we giggle and we feel happy when we see them. Instead of we look at them and say, what is it that you're looking at? They will come and they will question you and you will tell them about your whole life. And they just look at you and they shake their head. These people can't help themselves. They are who they are. They do the things that they do because they are no better than what you see. But you can continue to believe. But guess what? At the end of the day, you will be the loser. You have to be tired, sick and tired of the position that you find yourself in order to make changes. That's the only time you're going to do anything is when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. But until then, you will not make the necessary changes to better yourself and your life for you and your family, those who you claim you love. And you won't do anything to make sure life is better for your children for the future. You continue to keep them in a down-pressed state of life. You continue, you imagine you are the person that continue to teach your children and keep them in the space that they find themselves, because the system has put that into your parents and your parents put that into you, and now you're doing it to your children. That's why a lot of the children these days, we call them rebellious, but they don't want to have nothing to do with their parents a lot of time because they know their parents is lying to them. The ancestors that is coming forth within our children these days, they don't want no foolishness. They don't have no time for that. The line games is over, my people. You are going to be left behind. Your big house, your security fence and all these things, not going to save you. Can't save you. It cannot save you from what is coming. Because it's going to come upon you in a way that you will not realize. Things in the world can change very quickly, my dear people. 9/11 should be an instant reminder to us how quickly the world can change. COVID-19 is a reminder of how quickly the world can change. Where you're walking around wearing a mask that is killing you, breathing in the carbon dioxide that you're letting out, and these people are telling you, listen, you have to follow these rules and regulation, even though we know this thing is gonna kill you, and you accept it. You accept it. Might as well you go in your car, put a hose in the tailpipe and turn the car on and wind up the window and just lay down there and wait to die. That is what you're doing to yourself when you put a mask over your nose and your mouth, because you don't go and research anything or think about it or find out the truth about it. that you're breathing in back poison that is going to give you upper respiratory issues, and you don't want to see that, you don't want to know that, because you're just a follower. You don't know anything and you don't want to know. That is what we do to ourselves. We allow the system to do that to us. And we follow because that is what we are. We are sheeple. We are fully controlled by a system that is bent on destroying us. They don't care even if they destroy themselves, and that's what you don't see. That's what we as a people don't see. But only way you know these things when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Then you will start to think for yourself. You look at these people and they have on a mask and you can see they're stressing to breathe. You can see they're suffocating themselves. They're telling you, oh, I'm having pain up in these areas. Yeah, because carbon dioxide will do that to you. Yes, it will do that to you. But you see, we don't want to let these things go. We want to hold on to them. We want to hold on to these things, and these are the things that is going to destroy us. You think the system will have to come with guns to destroy you? Keep wearing a mask and see if you won't destroy yourself for the system. That's exactly what you're doing. But we don't want to stand up because we are afraid. We are in fear because they teach us fear from the day that we were born. Even our parents are once, teaching us fear. Oh, don't climb this tree, you're going to fall and hurt yourself. You know, the baby's running and doing this and that, and the mother is always on the child, trying to stop the child from doing these things. But I'm telling you, if you look at these white people, you think they do their children these things that way? Even when their children is climbing rocks, they don't say nothing. The same people that put you in the position that you are, you make your child are in fear. They go to church, fear God, fear this, fear the government, fear the other, fear. That's what we do, my dear people. That's the kind of things that we are doing to our own and to ourselves. Because we are not thinking, because we don't have our mind, someone else have your mind. And as long as someone have your mind, you can't think for yourself. You have to free yourself from that in order to get out of that space, in order to start thinking and saying, something is wrong with this picture. That's this place that we find ourselves. And until we step out of that spectrum and decide, you know what? This is not working out. You ask a person who cultivate, a farmer who cultivate, that if they plant a crop in this particular spot 1 year and the crop didn't do good, it's very unlikely that he or she is going to replant that area with the same crop, because they're going to go maybe test the soil and find out what is wrong with it. They're not going to keep doing it because it's a waste of time and energy and money. But we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and expect a different result. That is madness, my people. It is total madness. You have to stop doing these things, my people, because you are in trouble and you don't know it. It is amazing that most of the things we do, we don't even aware of what we are doing. We are not aware. We are not aware. And that's the reason why we find ourselves continually in the space where we find ourselves. Just stop and think for a moment. Free yourself from the place that you are. Just start to think and say, you know what? Something is wrong here. Let me rethink this game plan. If you have a sister, she's planting some flowers and she see that they are not growing, she's not going to keep planting them there. She's going to either bring in some soil, she's going to do something to make a difference, to make sure our plants is growing, because something is wrong with the soil. Something is wrong with our mind. Because the oppressor have your mind in the palm of their hands. And most of us are doing things the oppressor don't have to do it no more, because you do it to yourself and to your children. That's what we do. When are we going to let it go? In order for us to go forward, we have to let the things go that is holding us back. The things that are holding us back, we must let them go. Let the system go. Let it crumble. I tell my sisters, when you stop buying all these hair products that are damaging your brain, you will see how fast the system collapses. The strength of a woman is the weakness of the system. Listen to me carefully. The strength of a woman is the weakness of the system. You want the system to collapse? Sisters, start to pull out of the system. Let it plunge down into the hole that is waiting to swallow it up. Stop spending your money on foolishness. It is not enhancing your beauty, it is taking away from you. It is not making you look better, only in your imagination. Nothing can make you look better than the way that you came. Nothing, no makeup, no clothes, no none of those things. The clothes don't make you, you make the clothes. Accept what you see in the mirror, my people. Because when you accept what you see in the mirror, you just begin to free yourself. That's the reality. There's no going around it. You can dodge, you can do whatever, but I'm saying to you, the reality is it is no going around. Once you accept what you see in the mirror and look at yourself, I'm telling you, look at yourself. And say to yourself, I accept what I see in the mirror. I love what I see in the mirror. And I want to know who I see in the mirror. Know thyself. Very important. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But sometime, and all the time, I should say, you must know that the truth will always stand alone. It's a lonely place to live and walk in truth. But it's the man and the woman of integrity that will always walk there, because they are not afraid of anything or anyone. That's just the plain reality. You see, accept that. Knowing is power, not knowledge. Like I said, there's a lot of people who read a lot of books, but try to have a reason with them. Just try it, because I've done it, and see where they're coming from. When most people who really come into themselves will tell you, when I went to college, I really didn't learn. It's when I step away from it. That's the time I start to learn. That's the time I start to see. Yeah. It made a huge difference in their life, because they realized that was a bunch of crap that somebody was selling them. You see, that's a whole bunch of crap. I have a young brother who is a good friend of mine. He went to these universities, and he always challenging these professors. They didn't like him because he knew too much as far as they're concerned. They will tell him, he has nothing to do with what we are talking about. And he will say, yes, it does. Because what you're saying is not the truth. He actually walked out and left it because he realized it was a waste of his time and energy. Yes, that's what is happening with those places. They put you in debt that they can have you as a debt slave forever. You go to college and you spend 20 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years in college getting all these degrees. And guess what? At the end of the day, you end up being a debt slave. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. That's what they want, to have you under their spell perpetually, working for a system that cares nothing about you, now your family, now your children, because your children is going to come. As long as you stay in the place where you are, your children is going to come and they are going to be in the same exact position as you find yourself. That's what's going to happen. They will find themselves in the same perpetual debt dealing blow that you carry on yourself, that your parents put on you and you put on your children. It will still be there waiting on your children and your grandchildren. Is that what you want? Start to think for yourself. Think for yourself. It's very important. It is essential, my people. That's why I said, knowing is power. So when you know these things, no one can fool you anymore. No one can play no games with you anymore, because you start to see everything from an elevated point of view. You must start to think as a person who is a spirit, who come into flesh, knowing. And so once you come from that place, you will start to see and you will start to realize these things that I am seeing is nothing but a bunch of lies. So now we're going to unlock and we're going to unfold all of this crap. We're going to let our children know that these things are not true. They never is and never will be. But only us can change that. Only us. But if you don't want to change it, and you want to stay in that place that you find yourself, then I will say to you, I wish you the best, but I know it's not going to be the best. Because I know your life will be miserable for the rest of your life, and your children's life will continue to be in the space that you find yourself. Find yourself in a space of spirituality, where you start to think from the spirit in order to see what the flesh must see. You need to be in control. Your spirit needs to be in control of your flesh, not your flesh in control of your spirit. Doesn't work that way. That is here to destroy you. So I'm saying to you, my people, it is always good to be here. It is always good to reason with you. It is always good to have the brothers and the sisters in the chat room. You know, I see your comments, I read your comments, and I appreciate love all of you guys. You know, I thank you for your time, your participation, and your patience, and all the love that you continue to show for this platform. I salute you, and I said, one love, peace, and prosperity at all times, and may the universe always turn in your favor. Empress Elegy, thank you for always being in there, moderating and doing what you do. You know, so I give thanks for all things, my people. And just know that once you come out of that space, you will always be taken care of, because whatever you demand and command of the universe, it must grant whatever you need within you and within your family. It will always make sure that you have whatever you need. So I give thanks for all things. You know, Kimsey, thank you, my sister. You know, I am grateful for your encouragement. I say one love, peace, and prosperity, my people, at all times. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I will always be here. As long as I am in the flesh, I will always be here. You just need to know that. Give thanks.